Yo, what up? This is Sendog from Cypress Hill. You're listening to me on IE Sportsnet all day long, all day strong. You heard?
Yeah. Boys.
And here we are. It is the one and only IE Sportsnet. I am the one and only Coach B. You know, when it comes to Inland Empire Sports, the conversation starts right here on Fox Sports Radio, 1350 AM. I think we're having trouble with our phone line. Eternal is not here today. So I'm going to tell Greg Holler that we're having trouble with the phone line because we don't need any people calling in today. But Greg keeps telling me that we have a phone-in guest, but I think the phone's not working, you know? Is that the one and only Eternal?
Yes, it is, brother. Live and direct, man, on location. I got to thank, the good folks at IE Sportsnet, Coach B, Punch, my man Greg Holler for holding it down. Obviously, it's greatly appreciated, man. But, yes, I'm here live on the phone. What's going on, brother? How you feeling?
I'm feeling good, man. I'm feeling good. You know, I shot you an email earlier, yesterday. The open division is looking nice. I don't know if you had a chance to see the scores I sent you, but the Daily Bulletin reported there are a couple of teams out here. We got to give credit where credit is due. The one and only Miss Michelle Gardner.
Yes, indeed. Yes.
If you look at her story, man, I mean, Chino Hills, Damien, Cajon made the open division in the boys' side, and then Etowanda girls, and that's McLaughlin's little sister over there. At Etowanda. And for people that don't understand and they don't know, the open division is the cream of the crop when it comes to high school sports, and we know Chino Hills is number one in the nation. So
right. Well, to your point, just those three schools you mentioned are really doing some great things. Obviously, last night you had Cajon come through with a big game against A.B. Miller. They were victorious. You had Damon last night who played Los Osos and put up 99 points against them and almost beat them by roughly 30 points. And then Thursday night, Chino Hills, just a big gorilla in the room that is doing great things. They routed the Etowanda Eagles 92.
Did you have to say route?
Yeah, I did. I'm sorry.
My daughter's listening.
I was gonna use a different word, but I said route may be more appropriate.
But because you're using like to say licking stick, right?
I was about to say they broke out the licking stick on them. You know what I mean? But no, they were victorious over Etowanda. 92 to 72, and it's just one of those things where Chino Hills is just leagues better than the local competition. I mean, they're just lining people up and just giving them L's. I mean, they're really, really talented young men, and they're doing a great job, and I think they're going to represent the city well.
Absolutely. I mean, when you go to Florida and beat the three teams in the top five, know that team was legit. And, I know we're talking about high school basketball, but this is one thing we'll talk about eventually, where they're proposing the rule changes in football that makes football similar to basketball, to whereas it's like it's pretty much an open division. So that's something we'll touch on at another note. But I know you were talking about the teams and the games, and if anybody wants to see the IE Sportsnet top 15, go to iesportsnet.com. So can we give them the top five in boys?
Let's go ahead and give them the top five now. I didn't get a chance to look at it, but I'm very familiar with the teams. So go ahead and let's run the top five and let's get it done. I mean, I don't. Unfortunately, my service over here. I got that oost service. So
there you go. So I got up this morning at 5:30 for nothing. Is what you're saying? It's all good. So number 5 was Rancho Verde, and this is the IE Sportsnet top 5. Rancho Verde, 23-1. They beat. Now this is one thing I always say, and I said this when we had this team on our show. My name is Brian Arrington. Now the team they beat is Arlington. See, in Arlington there's an L. In my name, there is no L. There's 2 R's. So,
well, they definitely took an L. And again, Rancho Verde is doing great things. They spent a bulk of the year being undefeated. They're playing, the first loss they encountered was the Poly, and they both play a really, really strategic defensive game where they slow the game down and they just really beat you with, Florida floor, basket to basket defense. And so that's why Rancho Verde right now is doing really good, and they're at the number 5 spot in the IE Sportsnet top 15 poll.
Absolutely. Another team that made the open division bracket, defending CIF champions, coming in at number 4 was Damien, 22-2.
Right.
And they took down Los Osos 99-71 on the 11th.
Yes, sir. And again, they're just, this team, they matched up against Chino Hill, and which was supposed to be a really good, a really good game. And you just see right now, Damon, right now, to me, I would say is really, next to Centennial and some other teams, but it's really, really right there. And it's a close second for anybody in second. I mean, the competition right now is for like second and third. But again, Damon is a really talented team out there playing good basketball right now.
Absolutely. Number 3 is the city that I thought was Corona. Then I realized it's Eastvale. You have the Roosevelt team, the 18-6, and on the 11th they took down Santiago 55-35.
And playing good basketball right now. Again, the Broncos, the Roosevelt, Eastville Broncos are led by our guy Matt Mitchell, friend of the show, playing really good basketball right now. They're going to obviously run into Corona Centennial here shortly. But again, they're playing excellent basketball right now. A well-coached Broncos team.
Absolutely. And speaking of Centennial, number 2 in the poll at 17-6, and they took over. It's not a crosstown rival, but it is their legit rival.
Yes,
on the 11th, they took down Norco 93-54. So
yeah, and I saw that score, and that just shows. I think Norco right now, in regard to boys basketball, I think boys and girls basketball right now, they're rebuilding right now. Obviously, before Norco was one of the more powerhouses, but Centennial went in there and gave them the beeswax. And they're really playing good basketball right now.
Mm-hmm, absolutely, and we already talked about the number 1 team, not only in the area, not only in the state, but number 1 in the nation and number 1 in our hearts, the one and only Chino Hills, 23-0. And you know what? I don't think they play their first playoff game to next week, but I think they're already up 15. So,
hey man, I mean, it is something. I mean, these guys are something. I mean, I haven't just with me personally, I haven't seen a basketball team like this in the Inland Empire in a long time. Just to be candid, I don't know that I've seen one like this where they're just going, nationwide and just handing out whoopings.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And people know when they play them. Even like Epawanda, you and I were watching that score closely in the first game they played against each other, where it was very, very close all the way up into the second quarter. And I think all of a sudden, one of the ball boys looked themselves in the mirror and said, "Hold on, man, where the ball brother?"
Exactly.
And went out there, and turned it into a track meet. So again, they're very, very good. They're going to be good for a while, and it's just exciting to see, and I can't wait to see the first playoff game.
Right, and with them, and I saw clips of them because a lot of people are posting clips of them and whatnot, and I saw them. I mean, it's standing room only in their gym.
Oh, yeah.
The last time I saw something like that on a national level was when LeBron's senior year, when they couldn't play at the high school anymore, and they had to play at Akron University.
Right.
So yeah. So once again, it's IE Sportsnet, IESportsnet.com, Fox Sports Radio 1350 AM with Coach B and Eternal. Now we got to talk. Do you still got a little time for us? Or you?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay,
yes, sir.
I just want to make sure. Now let's go ahead and talk about that girls side. The girls side, one of the teams out there that's out there from your area, Patriots. So
yes.
Patriots is 25-0, and no one's really talking about them.
It's wild that it's like that. They did the same thing last year. They have 2 twin girls out there, and they play, again, full court defense. Really, really good defense, and that's the reason why they're undefeated right now. And as you mentioned, they're not talking about them, but nobody wants to play them. They're a really, really good team.
And, they on the 11th, they beat a team, you may have heard of them, Riverside Ramona. They beat them, check the score out, 57-13.
Wow.
What's the final score?
And seeing again that show, and I don't like the fact that you put emphasis on, my Rams like that. Yeah, I don't really like that. I'm many years removed from high school. However, Ramona is still very close to my heart. So yeah, that's painful.
And we never had a Ramona Ram in studio, but it's okay. Of any sport, but it's okay.
Yes, exactly. So they play the. It hurts. It hurts, but you know what? They do that to everybody. So, I'm not mad about that.
Okay. All right. So I'm just saying, man. We're always talking Ramona, but I mean, we haven't even had the soccer team on. But I digress. number
I like it. I like it. I like it. I like
number
it.
4, the IE Sportsnet girls top 5 poll. We had Cajon. Cajon is sitting at 18-4 and beat Miller 89-42. Another licking stick.
Yes, and they have their star players, Miss Kayla Washington, friend of the show. Really, if you were to ask me, I would say that she's Player of the Year worthy. Just plays great basketball. She's a senior. I don't know what college she's going to, but I think she was dominant last year, and we both know the Cajon is coached by a really, really great seasoned coach, and he's been there for a while. And this year's his last year. So I think they're trying to go on a good run for the coach being his last year. But they're playing really good basketball, and big up to Cajon.
And they're legit. They're the one team on the girls' side that we said that was invited. I'm sorry, Etowanda. Etowanda is our next team that's going to the Open Division.
Right.
Led by Jordan McLaughlin, the starting point guard at USC Trojan, Etowanda alumni, led by his little sister. Etowanda is 14-8 in the last game on the 11th. They beat Chino Hill 65-33.
Well, all you can say about that is at least somebody beat Chino Hills. I mean,
exactly. Exactly. I can tell my daughter that. Be happy about that,
Exactly. So at least they have something to be excited about. But again, they're playing great basketball. When you look at them, one of the things you notice is that, again, Etowanda is keeping that tradition of just playing really, really quality basketball on both sides. So you see it on the girls, and you also see it on the boys. But again, as you mentioned, the girls are going to the Open Division, and I expect to see great things out of those Etowanda Eagles.
Absolutely, and also make an appearance on the only team in our bracket to make an appearance on the girls' side and the boys' side. Coming in at number 2 was Roosevelt. Once again, their girls' team is doing better than the boys' team. The girls' team is 20-3.
The Lady Broncos, what can you say about them? I mean, they're just really, really dominant. They're playing well. They have a couple of players that are contributing, so it's not coming from one source. But, again, they play great offense and really good defense, and I think that's why you see the record what they have right now.
Yeah, I don't know what they got against Santiago. The boys beat them 55-35, and the girls beat them 71-34. So I don't think that's right, And coming in at number 1, if we can get a drum roll, coming in at number 1 on the girls' side, this is the IE. I don't care what you say. You're not San Diego County. You are in the Inland Empire. It's going to be Vista Marietta coming in at 22-2. On the 11th, they beat Temecula Valley 68-23.
Wow. Yeah, and they're just they've been dominant all year. They're led by a senior. The young lady's name is passed me right now. However, plays great basketball. I think she's ranked here in California in the top 10 with the top 10 players. But again, really, really well coached team. They're disciplined, and they play again great defense. That's one thing you notice in those with these girls teams. They play really, really quality defense full court, and I think the record reflects that.
Right, absolutely. So that is the IESportsnet.com that's the top 5. You want the complete top 15, you got to go to IESportsnet.com to get the whole story. We have the boys poll and the girls poll. Coming up this week, we'll talk about this. I don't know if you'll be able to make it out, but Tuesday got a huge. I know football season is over. I know people get upset about this, but Etowanda is dedicating their field on Tuesday.
Wow.
We were invited to come out by the coach. So how can I turn that down? I mean, Brian the second is going to be a freshman there. How can I turn down that opportunity to see this fabulous stadium? I drop my daughter off there every morning. I mean, this stadium is legit. It is legit.
Without a doubt. And I'm gonna make the tail end of it. But if they give you a shovel, get ready, take the picture. I hope you look. I know you're gonna walk up in there fresh as some brand new sneakers. You're gonna go in there and hold it down. But that's a great honor. I know that the coach extended that honor. And obviously IE Sportsnet. We're it just shows right now that we're doing some really, really great things to be invited to something that prestigious.
Absolutely, I agree. And then when we got to go to the first game because another tremendous Etowanda graduate, the Marvin Jones. I used to work with his sister, and she already said that he's going to be there at opening night. I mean, that opening night is going to be amazing. The entire city is going to be there. Now, I know Rancho Cucamonga, I think Alta Loma's getting a field as well. So, I don't know how these schools didn't have fields,
Yeah, well, that's it's always been, that's always been kind of interesting to me when high school teams don't have fields. But again, great to see Etiwanda finally getting the recognition they need in terms of getting that field. I know it's going to be a great thing. A couple other things I wanted to touch on real quick in terms of our events. Some great things happening here. Next weekend is going to be the Harlem Globetrotters are going to be right here live in the Inland Empire. On the 20th, it's going to be at Citizens Business Bank Arena. You don't want to miss it. We're still giving out tickets. So if you guys are interested in getting some tickets, make sure you hit us up on the social media. I think we have 4 pair we're going to give away. I'm giving away a pair today because I'm going to be at the Riverside in the downtown city of Riverside for the 37th annual Black History Parade and Expo and car show. It's going to be great. I'll be giving away a pair of tickets live on location. So if you guys run up to me, you guys give us the IE Sportsnet swaggle. I got some tickets for you.
Absolutely. And to win, they got to go to, they got to follow us on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. Everything is at IE Sportsnet. Make sure they follow. I would have come to the parade, but my check didn't make it in the mail. But I would have been there. I'll tell you what, take the poster and say, hey, that's him right there.
Yes, indeed, man. But again, it's great. We're doing this thing for the folks out here. But I'm really excited about some of the stuff we got coming up. I know you're going to be talking about that skills competition that's led by our guy, friend of the show, Coach Anthony. But again, big up to everybody. And if you guys want to check out your guy, I'll be live and direct in downtown Riverside today. Absolutely.
So that's why the one and only Eternal couldn't be in studio. He's getting ready and prepared for the Black History Parade. Let people know where it's at and give people details that want to. It's in Riverside. And let people know if they want to come out.
Yes, sir. So that's going to be starting at 10 o'clock today. It's going to be the parade route is from Riverside Community College. It goes down Magnolia all the way until it turns into Market, and then it ends at the historic court building in downtown Riverside. And then afterwards, they're going to have the expo where you're going to be able to get some really, really great food. They have a stage. There's going to be all kind of bands. Our Grand Marshal for the 37th annual parade this year is Mr. Jack Clark Jr., so it's going to be a real, real great dedication. And again, like I said, it all takes place today at 10 o'clock.
There you go. Well, that's it. And then I know you gotta get out there and get ready to do that. But speaking of our events, I'm glad you mentioned that. So on the 20th, we're going to be at Canyon Springs High School with the Inland Empire Skills. It's the training for the kids. So if anybody want to get involved, go to Cali Elite. You can look him up on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. Coming in June will be the 2nd annual IE Sportsnet 7-on-7 high school tournament. Classic.
Excited about that.
We're going to do that at the Ralph Lewis Sports Complex in Fontana. In April, I know I'm backtracking. In April, the 2nd annual Inland Valley All-Star Basketball Classic. In May, the 1st annual Inland Valley Soccer Classic. And we got some other things. We're not going to release them yet. But we got some more things. The Inland Valley Classic is not done. Let's just say that.
Exactly.
We have 4 events. We have the girls volleyball, we have basketball, we have football, we have soccer, but we have another big one that's on the back burner that's going to happen this year. We just can't give the details out yet because we're still in negotiations with it. But we got some big stuff coming with that Inland Valley.
Yes, sir, man. And again, the events keep coming. But again, everybody, we want you to stay tuned. Make sure you guys log on to the website. You guys are able to check us out on iesportsnet.com. Again, that's iesportsnet.com. You can always get real-time scores there. You can get information about what's going on in your community. It's a great thing. And again, you guys can always find us live on air every Saturday morning at 8 o'clock on Fox Sports Radio, 1350 a.m.
The one and only. So we're going to step out and do a commercial break because I know you got to do your thing. But
yes,
let's go ahead and do a commercial break. You're listening to IE Sports Net with Coach B.
And Eternal. When it comes to Inland Empire Sports, the conversation starts and stops here.
On Fox Sports Radio, 1350 a.m.
Yes, sir.
You're listening to IESportsNet.com, the Inland Empire Sports Authority.
Paid non-attorney spokesperson Adam Pulaski of the Pulaski Law Firm with principal office in Houston, Texas is the attorney responsible for the content of this ad. This ad is not legal advice, and the choice of a lawyer should not be based solely upon advertisement. Services may not be available in all states. Attention Xarelto and Pradaxa users. If you or a loved one has taken the blood-thinning drugs Xarelto or Pradaxa and suffered an injury or even died, you could be entitled to substantial financial compensation. Call 800-282-8605 now. Xarelto and Pradaxa have been linked to internal bleeding, strokes, and pulmonary embolisms. If you or a loved one has taken these blood-thinning drugs and have been hospitalized for internal bleeding, you could be entitled to substantial financial compensation. Don't be a silent victim. Time is limited to file your claim. Call now for free information and a free consultation. Lines are open 24/7. Call 800-282-8605. That's 800-282-8605. 800-282-8605. You could be entitled to substantial financial compensation. Call 800-282-8605 now.
All right, guys, we're ready for our Four Seasons sunroom, and Daddy's gonna get a rec room with refreshments.
Oh no, we'll be sleeping under the stars.
Mom, what about the one with, the fun?
Nice try, little bro. It's a gym. My gym.
Hey, Grandma's getting her Four Seasons garden room. Weather tight and still like being outdoors.
Maybe a living room. Oh no, wait, a family hub.
Yeah!
No matter what the budget, the season, or the climate, Four Seasons sunrooms let you and your family enjoy the outdoors inside. Call now to hear more about these great offers from the premier manufacturer of sunrooms since 1975.
More reasons for Four Seasons now.
To find out more, call toll-free 800-973-5533. That's 800-973-5533. Call 800-973-5533 today.
Here's George Foreman with InventHelp.
Hi, I'm George Foreman. Do you have an idea for a new product or invention? People ask me all the time, George, how do I get my idea in front of companies? How do I get a patent? What do I do next? Do you have the same questions? I'll tell you like I'll tell them all. Call my friends at InventHelp.
Call InventHelp today for free information. InventHelp has been helping inventors for more than 30 years and has sales offices nationwide. InventHelp can submit your invention to companies who are interested in receiving new ideas. If you have an idea and want to try to patent it and submit it to companies, you should call InventHelp today for free information.
Listen, I can't guarantee a company will be interested in your idea, but I believe every inventor deserves the opportunity to step into the ring and take their best shot. Put InventHelp in your corner.
To get your free inventor's information, call 1-800-352-1609. That's 1-800-352-1609. Again, 1-800-352-1609. A fee-based company.
What's up? This is TJ Ward from the Denver Broncos. You're now tuning to IE Sportsnet.
The Inland Empire Sports Authority.
All right, and we are live. This is the one and only IE Sportsnet right here on Fox Sports Radio 1350 AM. I am the one and only Coach B, and our Eternal, he's out there. Like he said, he's on the Black History Parade today, so he's out in Riverside getting ready for that. But you know, when it comes to Inland Empire Sports, the conversation starts and stops right here. Now, this is a special day. When I came in this morning, me and Mr. Holler were talking about this. Greg Holler that runs our boards. He's here every Sunday night on 99.1. It's Valentine's Day this weekend, so I have a special guest. I think someone's calling in on the line. Do I have a special guest on the phone?
Yes, the one and only Brandy Arrington.
All right, so this is, people always hear me talking about you on the radio. They always hear me saying your name. I just want to do something special. I know you get nervous. I know, entertainment is not your thing. That's my thing. But what I wanted to do is say that I appreciate the 20 years that we've been together. And I appreciate you being Mrs. Arrington. And I cannot wait until tomorrow for Valentine's Day for us to hang out again.
Oh, wow. Okay, if you would see me now,
yes,
I'm emotional, but I appreciate you too. 20 years.
Hello.
20 years plus. I appreciate you too.
There you go. So I love you and the kids, the mother of all my kids. I don't have any baby mamas. I have one. So yes, I am married. 20. We've been together 20 years strong. I met her when I was a baby. I know I look young. But I met her when I was a baby, so I appreciate Mrs. Brian Arrington, Brandy Arrington, calling to IE Sportsnet. And you got Forever My Lady, Greg. See, Greg Holler. See, I was telling him this, Brandy. Greg Holler that runs our boards. He works on 99.1. I said when we do Brianna's, my oldest, when we do her birthday on the 16th, I think we have a DJ already. So
well, perfect.
He's playing the favor my lady in the background. So
all right, well, that's good. Brianna's here listening to you too.
Absolutely. Well, I appreciate you calling in. Like I said, I know this isn't your thing, but I just wanted to say happy Valentine's Day to Mrs. Coach B.
All right, well, happy Valentine's to you. Can't wait to see you. Brianna, want to say hi.
All righty.
Say hi. Hi, Dad.
Hey, Brianna. This is Brianna Arrington. This is my Edawanda Eagle. So I appreciate, love you too as well. My daughter. I am your first Valentine, so don't forget that. Dad's always loved you. So I'm going to jump back into the show. Thank you so much for calling in and making my day.
Okay, love you.
Love you
See
too.
Later.
All right. So we can get back into some sports. See, what I've learned, Mr. Holler, happy wife, happy life. You know, sometimes you got to do it. You know, you get those brownie points and you're all good. You know what I mean? So now we can get back into sport. Now you want to go back into the it's all good. So one of the things that we were talking about when Turner was talking in the show, we have, like we said, Chino Hills, Damien. Actually, it's the Cajon girls that make the open division. So I misspoke when I said it earlier. So it's Chino Hills and Damien's boys. And then it's the Cajon and Edawanda girls that made the open division. So that, you know, when you look at these teams and you look at how dominant they have been, it's just amazing that I don't believe that there's anyone in the Inland Valley that can compete with those boys over at Chino Hills. When I'm looking at Michelle Gardner, who is an absolute friend of the show, she has talked about Chino Hills all year. And she said this is a once-in-a-lifetime team. And when you look at what they did to Damien, and Damien is a defending CIF champion. When you look at what they did to Damien, it's just amazing how far this team is above and beyond everybody else. Because like we talked about earlier in the show, earlier in the year, Chino Hills went over to Florida and they played I think they were either top 10 or top 5 teams. I can go back and look at it. But, I mean, they took care of those teams like there was no problem. So it's amazing when you look at those teams and the way that they are dominating the competition. It's just amazing to me. And then when you look over at the girls' side, when you look at, because friend of the show, we've had Cajon girls team on before. And we know that they are just dominating over there. And like Eddie or Turner was saying earlier in the show, this is the coach's last year. You know, great coach, ran a great program. He's looking to retire and hang them up. That Cajon girls team has just dominated all year. And Edawanda, they're not new to being a dominant program and being a dominant team. So when you look at Edawanda, you know that girls team is dominating. And like we said, the star player on that team is the little sister of Jordan McLaughlin. So I can get her name. I'm not sure of her name right now. But she is the hopefully she'll decide to go join her brother at USC. Not that I'm biased, but you know I love those USC Trojans. So they're out there balling. They're out there dominating. When you look at all the programs out there, I mean, you have teams that are dominating out in San Bernardino County. We talked about the IE Sportsnet Top 5 poll. You have some other teams out there that are tough. You look at Valley View. Valley View over in Riverside County is dominating. They're 20-1. You look at Great Oak is dominating. You look at Norco. You look at King. You look at North, Canyon Springs, Summit, Redlands East Valley. All these teams are dominating, and they're getting ready to go off into their playoff run. So this is going to be one amazing year for the Inland Empire and all the teams that we have out here. So we're looking forward to yet a really, really great year. We're looking forward to IE Sportsnet doing some great stuff. So what I want to talk about, and I know we're talking basketball, but the one thing that I'm really, really excited about is, and I touched on it a little bit when Eddie had called in, is the Inland Valley Basketball Classic. Now, the Inland Valley Basketball Classic takes place at A.B. Miller in Fontana. This will be the second annual Inland Valley Basketball Classic. You know, we just got finished doing the Inland Valley Football Classic. The Inland Valley Basketball Classic is what started it all for us. So the Inland Valley Basketball Classic is the best, the absolute best high school basketball players, boys and girls, from San Bernardino County. They come out and they play in our all-star game. us in association with Coach Romanelli, who is the head boys basketball coach over at A.B. Miller. This was his vision. This was his idea. And we cannot thank the people at the Daily Bulletin enough, Miss Michelle Gardner, Pete Marshall, as well as Louis Brewster. Without their help, their influence, and their input, that game just would not have been possible. So to have them involved with the game, because they brought it back, it was a game that had been around for a couple of years and it went dormant. So it was something that San Bernardino County really needed. So that's the reason that we wanted to get involved with Coach Romanelli and do something really nice for the San Bernardino, the Inland Valley. We wanted to do something for the Inland Valley. Inland Valley is the San Bernardino County area right there off of the 210 and the 10, boxed up into those two areas. So it was a really, really good event, a good game. We're looking forward. Last year, I think we had 2,400 people over at the A.B. Miller Gym. So the county of San Bernardino really embraced that game, really got behind that game. We had some great support because it was a Fontana game. Fontana Police Officers Association was very helpful. Mayor Warren, Fontana Mayor Warren was very helpful. We give out the Mayor Warren Athletic Scholarship to players with the highest GPA on the boys and the girls side. So we make sure we award the kids for their academic excellence. It's not just about basketball, but it's also about the academic excellence. So we appreciate that. I know I'm just mumbling and going on and on. So Mr. Holler, let's go ahead and knock out a quick commercial break. We're gonna go to commercial. We'll be right back. You're listening to IE Sports Net with Coach B. Eternals out on location. But when it comes to Inland Empire sports, the conversation starts and stops here on Fox Sports Radio, 1350 AM.
You're listening to IESportsNet.com, the Inland Empire Sports Authority.
Paid non-attorney spokesperson Adam Pulaski of the Pulaski Law Firm with principal office in Houston, Texas is the attorney responsible for the content of this ad. This ad is not legal advice, and the choice of a lawyer should not be based solely upon advertisement. Services may not be available in all states. Attention Xarelto and Protexxa users. If you or a loved one has taken the blood-thinning drugs Xarelto or Protexxa and suffered an injury or even died, you could be entitled to substantial financial compensation. Call 800-282-8605 now. Xarelto and Protexxa have been linked to internal bleeding, strokes, and pulmonary embolisms. If you or a loved one has taken these blood-thinning drugs and have been hospitalized for internal bleeding, you could be entitled to substantial financial compensation. Don't be a silent victim. Time is limited to file your claim. Call now for free information and a free consultation. Lines are open 24/7. Call 800-282-8605. That's 800-282-8605. 800-282-8605. You could be entitled to substantial financial compensation. Call 800-282-8605 now.
All right, guys, we're ready for our Four Seasons sunroom, and Daddy's gonna get a rec room with refreshments.
Oh no, we'll be sleeping under the stars.
Mom, what about the one with, the fun?
Nice try, little bro. It's a gym. My gym.
Hey, Grandma's getting her Four Seasons garden room. Weather tight and still like being outdoors.
Maybe a living room. Oh no, wait, a family hub.
Yeah! No matter what the budget, the season, or the climate, Four Seasons sunrooms let you and your family enjoy the outdoors inside. Call now to hear more about these great offers from the premier manufacturer of sunrooms since 1975.
More reasons for Four Seasons now.
To find out more, call toll-free 800-973-5533. That's 800-973-5533. Call 800-973-5533 today.
Here's George Foreman with InventHelp.
Hi, I'm George Foreman. Do you have an idea for a new product or invention? People ask me all the time, George, how do I get my idea in front of companies? How do I get a patent? What do I do next? Do you have the same questions? I'll tell you like I'll tell them all. Call my friends at InventHelp.
Call InventHelp today for free information. InventHelp has been helping inventors for more than 30 years and has sales offices nationwide. InventHelp can submit your invention to companies who are interested in receiving new ideas. If you have an idea and want to try to patent it and submit it to companies, you should call InventHelp today for free information.
Listen, I can't guarantee a company will be interested in your idea, but I believe every inventor deserves the opportunity to step into the ring and take their best shot. Put InventHelp in your corner.
To get your free inventor's information, call 1-800-352-1609. That's 1-800-352-1609. Again, 1-800-352-1609. A fee-based company.
From Jackie Robinson to John Elway, Southern California is home to many of America's greatest high school athletes. Now you can add to that legacy by voting for your favorites on a new website called SoCalPrepLegends.com. Log on today and vote for the best plays and players from the teams in your area. You'll find everything you need to make your selections, including stories, stats, videos, and more. Show your team spirit and give your players the recognition they deserve. Go to SoCalPrepLegends.com and see the stars of today become the legends of tomorrow.
Los Angeles Lakers.
This is Xavier Henry from the LA Lakers. You're listening to IE Sportsnet.
And we are live. This is the one and only IE Sportsnet right here on Fox Sports Radio, 1350 AM. I am the one and only Coach B. Eternal is out on location today. He's in Riverside getting ready for the Black History Parade that's going to take place in Riverside today. So if you guys want to see that, follow Eternal's Twitter at ETIE Sports. He'll give you the updates on how to go there and get all the information. He will be out there giving away Harlem Globetrotter tickets. So if you want to come out there and see the Harlem Globetrotters, they'll be at Citizens Business Bank Arena next week. So if you're interested in seeing them, go out and see Eternal. Go out to the Riverside Black History Parade. It's going to be a great event today. I couldn't make it today. I got some other things I had to knock out. But it's going to be a great event. I know it is. You know, when it comes to Inland Empire sports, the conversation starts and stops here on Fox Sports Radio, 1350 AM. Now, one thing that I want to touch bases on and I want to talk about, it's the way that the media is just killing Cam Newton. It's a very difficult situation because here's the thing. You got to think about this. It's like everything in America now has been cut down to sound bites and snippets. It's I call it the Twitter generation. So you no longer listen, you no longer read entire newspaper articles. You just want everything in 140 characters. Cam Newton, let's talk about a couple of things. So I saw I was listening to The Herd, Colin Cowherd here on Fox. And I was looking at it, and I can't think of the receiver's name right. Keyshawn Johnson, that's his name. Keyshawn Johnson was on Colin Cowherd the other day, and he made some very, very interesting points that I want to bring up here. Now, they talked about the way that Cam Newton was dressed, where he had on the sweater and he had on the hoodie. They said, why would you dress like that at the end of a Super Bowl if you know you're going to a press conference? And this is from Keyshawn. And Keyshawn said that what the media doesn't know is right after the game, the NFL goes and grabs Cam Newton. So Cam Newton, they didn't allow him to shower. They didn't allow him to prep or get ready. So Cam Newton had to throw on the first thing he saw, which was his sweater and his hoodie. So that's the reason Cam Newton was dressed that way when he went to that press conference. So that's one. And number two, they said as he's sitting there doing his press conference, he's sitting right next to a guy that beat him and is sitting there gloating and talking about how bad Cam played and did all this and all that. Now, let me ask you. I know Cam Newton makes millions and millions of dollars to do what he gets paid to do. He does TV commercials. He has endorsements. He does it. I get that. I understand that. But you got to think about yourself. If you're in your early 20s and the worst thing in your life ever happened, how would you feel if someone stuck a microphone in your face 2 seconds later and asked you how did it feel? How do you think you would react to that situation? And once again, I'm not giving Cam a pass. I understand he's a professional. I understand it's a part of the business. I get that. But the thing about it is what people don't talk about is you remember the year that Peyton Manning lost the Super Bowl? And I'm a Peyton Manning fan. So I was torn when I watched the game because I think Peyton Manning is the best quarterback of our generation, not Tom Brady. I think it's Peyton Manning. I'm a Peyton Manning fan. So what about when Peyton Manning lost the Super Bowl in Indianapolis when he walked off the field? Didn't shake anyone's hand, didn't congratulate anyone. He walked right off the field. But there's pictures of Cam Newton coming over to Peyton, smiling, hugging, and saying, hey, congratulations, great game. They don't talk about that. Peyton Manning gets a pass. So I think with the Cam Newton situation, I understand it looks bad because everything nowadays is cut down to sound bites and clips. It's like the argument where people are saying that Michael Jordan is the greatest player in the history of basketball. I disagree. I think it's Magic. But when you look at the media and the coverage you get nowadays, if people were able to see what Kareem Abdul-Jabbar did in his career, you would clearly see he was the greatest player in NBA history. Same amount of championships. And there was a run, maybe 10 years plus. He was the best player in the league. I believe he's won more MVPs than Jordan, but no one talks about Kareem. Why? Because everything is broken down to sound clips and sound bites and everything. It's a Sports Center generation. Everybody wants to see something right now. They don't want to sit there and dig in and talk about what goes in. Now, you heard right here on IE Sportsnet. This is Coach B on Fox Sports Radio 1350 AM. You heard me last week. I did my prediction. I don't remember the score. I said I don't want to be reminded. I know Greg Holler's got the clips from last week. I don't need to be reminded. You know, I got a lot of people laughing because I thought it was going to be a blowout. I thought it would be an absolute blowout, and I thought that the Panthers would run away with that. But here's the thing. Here's another thing I want to say on the Cam Newton argument and debate. Here's the thing. He threw perfect passes. Perfect passes. I can't tell you how many passes were dropped by his receivers. You got to think, he does not have a single, I don't think he has a single Pro Bowl receiver on his squad. So there was many passes that were dropped. How many fumbles were there by his it was a crucial situation where the fullback was running the ball, fumble. And then you got to think to yourself, all year Cam has been able to be in the pocket. He's been protected. 2 times Von Miller got to him and stripped the ball away. That is not Cam Newton's fault. That's not his fault. Last time I checked, when I was watching the Super Bowl, people say it was Cam Newton versus Peyton. Last time I checked, when I watched, they weren't on the field at the same time. So that was not Cam Newton's fault that his receivers didn't catch the ball, his running back fumbled, and then they hit him on the blind side twice. I don't know. Ron Rivera, I know he was a part of the 85 Chicago Bears. He's a player that's won a Super Bowl championship. I get that. But he just did not make the adjustment. Von Miller is probably the best defensive player in the world right now. And when you got that guy out there, and here's the thing. Back in the 80s, LT, when he played for the Giants, LT was the same way. You always accounted for LT, and you always knew where LT was. With Von Miller, you cannot have a running back picking up Von Miller. You just can't do it. And then the thing is when you look at it, Wade Phillips, I know Eternal wish he was here because Wade Phillips was a Cowboy coach, and Wade Phillips was a defensive coordinator. His game plan was amazing because I heard him talking, and he said he knew that when Carolina went to max protection, and that's when they got those strips from him, that when they went to max protection, that means you bring in another tight end or you bring in another running back. He knew that they weren't going to release. So that means they're not going to go out on a route. So that means if you get past those linemen, you're wide open to Cam Newton because you don't have to worry about that tight end releasing and going out for a pass in the flat on the backside. So it's like the game plan that they had for them was amazing. And I think Wade Phillips is one of the worst coaches in NFL history. But Wade Phillips put together a game plan that just was second to none. You got to tip your hat to him. You got to tip your hat to him. Peyton Manning, if you look at him, it reminded me of Trent Dilfer. It was not the Peyton Manning of 10 years ago. Peyton Manning was the game manager. You could see there were times where it was 3rd and long. They just ran a draw. They just handed off the ball. They were not going to allow Peyton Manning to try to win the game. That's coming from the Broncos. They said, "Hey, we're going to put this on our defense. We're going to kick the ball, and we're going to go for it." One thing that I can say though, and I'm a Cam Newton fan, and you know it is what it is. Cam Newton, he says that last fumble when he got stripped, he said that's not why they lost the game. Actually, Cam, I'm sorry, but it was. Because if you think about it, when that happened in the game, you were down 6 points. And you think about it, every great quarterback, when you cement your legacy, you have to have a drive coming from behind and you march your team down the field. So that's the play where the ball was fumbled. Cam Newton ran up to it and then he backed off. I had no idea why he did that. Because if you remember, I know our audience is young. We have a lot of high school kids. But if you remember when John Elway, I think he was 36, 37, when he won the Super Bowl and he went running for a first down and he got hit. And that's when the famous helicopter move, when he got spun around. That means you put it all out on the line. You put it all out on there because I was at my friend's house watching the game and I told him because Cam, his receivers weren't catching the ball. They couldn't protect him. I said, you got to start running the option. You got to start letting Cam Newton run. I don't care if he gets hurt. If he gets hurt, he gets hurt. Because if you think about it, say if Cam Newton would have got hurt and they would have drug him off the field, everyone would love him right now because they would say, man, he gave it all for his team. They lost, but he put his body on the line and he did everything he could to win. So that was my thought, is they should have had him running the ball, because I get the moniker of Brian Coach B. Arrington because I coached football, and my son was actually my quarterback. And I always know the one position that you don't account for in defense is that quarterback. That everyone has a man except for that quarterback. And they said that they had someone spying Cam Newton. Cam Newton runs a 4.3. There's no one that can spy him and catch up to him when he's coming downhill. It just won't happen. You listen to IE Sports Net with Coach B on Fox Sports Radio 1350 AM. The conversation starts and stops here for Inland Empire Sports. But like I said, there is no one in the league that wants to come after Cam Newton. The guy is bigger than most linebackers and tight ends. He's faster than most receivers and running backs. I don't understand why you don't unleash that guy on the defense. That's the way you soften up the defense. And like I said, I'm a what do they call it? A quarterback. A sofa quarterback. I'm sitting here watching the game. Ron Rivera, the head coach, and his staff, they get paid millions of dollars to coach that team. I get it. But the thing about it is they should have unleashed Cam Newton, because Cam Newton, you could see he had the jitters. I don't know how many passes he threw too high during the game. You could see the moment was too big for him. The way you loosen it up is you get him some plays that you know that he can make. Excuse me. You get some plays that you know you can make, because you look at Denver's first series. It was beautiful. I think it started off with a little 5-yard dump to the tight end, a couple of run plays just to get Peyton comfortable, to get him comfortable and get the ball moving, and they marched the ball all the way down the field. But Cam Newton, it's like, dude, they have locked down corners. Talib, lock down corners. They shut them down. You cannot have Cam Newton sitting back there, someone's running a 10 to 15-yard route, and you got Von Miller coming. You just can't do that. And okay, and when they got the first fumble, I was like, okay, that's no problem. We'll figure it out. We'll fix it. But you can't do that again. You can't get him blown up again. It just made no sense to me. I didn't understand the game plan. Didn't seem like there was any adjustments, because I thought that's the first thing I thought. I said, okay, they're going to adjust this at halftime. Didn't see any adjustments. Did not see any adjustments. So I just didn't understand it. But I take my hats off to the Denver Broncos, Peyton Manning, and John Elway. It's funny, I was driving up the 15 freeway, I think after the Super Bowl, and I saw the John Elway Toyota. You would think they would have had a big sign out there, congratulations, boss, but I didn't see it, but it's all good. But I'm going to take a quick commercial break. I know I'm rambling on. So let's take a quick commercial break, and we'll come back to wrap up the show. You listen to IE Sports Network. Coach B, Eternal, is out on location. When it comes to Inland Empire Sports, the conversation starts and stops here on Fox Sports Radio 1350 AM.
You're listening to IESportsNet.com, the Inland Empire Sports Authority.
Paid non-attorney spokesperson Adam Pulaski of the Pulaski Law Firm with principal office in Houston, Texas is the attorney responsible for the content of this ad. This ad is not legal advice, and the choice of a lawyer should not be based solely upon advertisement. Services may not be available in all states. Attention Xarelto and Pradaxa users. If you or a loved one has taken the blood-thinning drugs Xarelto or Pradaxa and suffered an injury or even died, you could be entitled to substantial financial compensation. Call 800-282-8605 now. Xarelto and Pradaxa have been linked to internal bleeding, strokes, and pulmonary embolisms. If you or a loved one has taken these blood-thinning drugs and have been hospitalized for internal bleeding, you could be entitled to substantial financial compensation. Don't be a silent victim. Time is limited to file your claim. Call now for free information and a free consultation. Lines are open 24/7. Call 800-282-8605. That's 800-282-8605. 800-282-8605. You could be entitled to substantial financial compensation. Call 800-282-8605 now.
All right, guys, we're ready for our Four Seasons sunroom, and Daddy's gonna get a rec room with refreshments.
Oh no, we'll be sleeping under the stars.
Mom, what about the one with, the fun?
Nice try, little bro. It's a gym. My gym.
Hey, Grandma's getting her Four Seasons garden room. Weather tight and still like being outdoors.
Maybe a living room. Oh no, wait, a family hub.
Yeah!
No matter what the budget, the season, or the climate, Four Seasons Sunrooms let you and your family enjoy the outdoors inside. Call now to hear more about these great offers from the premier manufacturer of sunrooms since 1975.
More reasons for Four Seasons now.
To find out more, call toll-free 800-973-5533. That's 800-973-5533. Call 800-973-5533 today.
Here's George Foreman with InventHelp.
Hi, I'm George Foreman. Do you have an idea for a new product or invention? People ask me all the time, George, how do I get my idea in front of companies? How do I get a patent? What do I do next? Do you have the same questions? I'll tell you like I'll tell them all. Call my friends at InventHelp.
Call InventHelp today for free information. InventHelp has been helping inventors for more than 30 years and has sales offices nationwide. InventHelp can submit your invention to companies who are interested in receiving new ideas. If you have an idea and want to try to patent it and submit it to companies, you should call InventHelp today for free information.
Listen, I can't guarantee a company will be interested in your idea, but I believe every inventor deserves the opportunity to step into the ring and take their best shot. Put InventHelp in your corner.
To get your free inventor's information, call 1-800-352-1609. That's 1-800-352-1609. Again, 1-800-352-1609. A fee-based company.
From Jackie Robinson to John Elway, Southern California is home to many of America's greatest high school athletes. Now you can add to that legacy by voting for your favorites on a new website called SoCalPrepLegends.com. Log on today and vote for the best plays and players from the teams in your area. You'll find everything you need to make your selections, including stories, stats, videos, and more. Show your team spirit and give your players the recognition they deserve. Go to SoCalPrepLegends.com and see the stars of today become the legends of tomorrow.
Yo, what up? This is Sendog from Cypress Hill. You're listening to me on IE Sportsnet all day long, all day strong, you heard?
And we are live. This is the one and only IE Sportsnet right here on Fox Sports Radio 1350 AM. I am the one and only Coach B. Internal is out on location today. You know, when it comes to Inland Empire sports, the conversation starts and stops right here. You know, one thing that I do want to get into, and I want to talk about a little bit, and I got to give shots out to Punch because, you know, we had some guests today, but they had to cancel on us. So you got me today. You got the one and only Coach B. That's all you got. I want to thank Eternal for calling in today, and also Miss Coaches B for calling in because, you know, tomorrow is Valentine's Day. And I was talking about this with Punch. It's kind of funny that this year the NBA All-Star Game is going to be on Valentine's Day. I think that's a hard sell for someone to tell your spouse, hey, let's spend Valentine's Day at the All-Star Game. I don't know. Who knows? Maybe they got some Valentine's packages up there. I don't know. But this this All-Star Game is a little bit different. As you all know, this is Kobe Bean Bryant's last All-Star Game. You know, me and Eternal, we've had conflicts about this because I thought his last season, the last All-Star Game should have been 2-3 years ago, you know. But here's the thing, and anybody can debate this, and anybody can say this. Yes, Kobe's made a lot of money in his career. We know that. He's made a lot of money from the Lakers and from his endorsements. If there's a check for you with your name on it, with $24 million, and someone's going to give it to you, are you going to turn that down? Because people are saying the same thing about Peyton Manning. They say, oh, yeah, Peyton Manning should retire. He should be done. He should be gone. Here's the thing. If someone has a check for you with a couple of $1 million on it, are you going to turn that down? If Peyton Manning comes back, I have no problems with that. If he comes back and gets more money, no problem whatsoever for that. Because if they have a check with your name on it that has a couple of millions on it, you need to take it. But I digress. So back to Kobe Bean Bryant. His final All-Star game will be tomorrow from Toronto on Valentine's Day. So that's going to be an interesting game. There's been a huge push to try to get him his final, to try to get him the MVP. Don't know how that's going to work out. Kobe's body just does not seem to be holding up for him. You know, so we already had the celebrity game. I know Kevin Hart said that he was going to retire from it. But I don't know if Kevin Hart won the MVP. This will probably be his third or fourth year in a row for him to win the MVP. Tonight we have the Rising Star Challenge. You have the D-League All-Star Game is coming up. You have the skills challenge. You have the 3-point contest. Good old Steph is going to try to win his back-to-back, I guess. And then you have the slam dunk contest. I don't even know who's in that dunk contest. I know the kid from UCLA won it last year. He's back in it? Okay, cool. Punch has got me. He's going to be you need to be our researcher, man. And then, of course, the big one, the 65th NBA All-Star Game is going to be on Valentine's Day. You know, the NFL, I love the NFL. That's my favorite professional sport. The NFL really needs to take a look at the NBA and all the stuff they do with their All-Star Game, because the Pro Bowl, it was pathetic. The Pro Bowl was terrible. I mean, it's almost they need to make it two-hand touch. I don't know what they need to do about that. So it says Drake in Canada wins the 2006 All-Star Celebrity Game. So, okay, so Drake, he's a Canadian. So he had to win that. So that's good for him. So Drake and Kevin Hart, it's about time for him to retire, because I know he said he was going to retire like a year ago. I don't know. Is it just me, or does anybody else have Kevin Hart burnout? I mean, Kevin Hart is just, I love the guy. He's very funny, but the dude is doing too much, man. But again, if there's a check with your name on it, you got to take it. So I'm not at all mad at him. So yeah. But anyway, back. So I digress. So like we say, this weekend will be the All-Star Game this Sunday. So we'll see how that works out on Valentine's Day, which doesn't make sense. But I remember, just funny story on a side note, and this is why I say I don't know if you're going to be able to sell that to anyone about the Valentine's Day, because I remember when my daughter, I think it was her first Christmas, and USC was playing. This is when they played the Las Vegas Bowl on Christmas, and I remember telling my wife, she called in earlier in the show, I remember telling her, hey, let's go up there to see that USC playing in the Las Vegas Bowl, and she looked at me as serious as day. And she said, you think I'm going to miss my daughter's first Christmas for a USC game? And I knew right then and there that it just wasn't going to happen. So that's why I'm saying I don't know if you can sell that Valentine's Day to some. There you go. That's what I'm talking about, Mr. Holler, one and only Mr. Holler. And you know what? Speaking of that, I cannot wait. On the 21st, I will be at Galen Center. My boys, we're going to have a boys' day out. We're going to go see Edewanda graduate Jordan McLaughlin as USC. It's the final game of the season, I think, for USC over at Galen Center. That'll be on the 21st. My daughter and I, we already went to the girls' basketball game. It was Daddy-Daughter Day. Oh, I loved it. Thank you, USC, for doing such a top-notch event. It was Daddy-Daughter Day. You bought the tickets. They gave you, me and my daughter, matching watches. They gave us lunch, and we were able to watch the USC girls basketball team get the win. So I'm pretty excited about that. So I can't wait to go back out there with my boys. So it's going to be an exciting event. I think that's all I got. I'm going to step out of here. This is my first show flying solo. I think I like it a lot more. I don't think we need Eternal. I think as long as me, Greg, Holler, and Punch are here, I don't think we need anyone else. I don't think we need anyone else. So we're good to go. So we thank you guys so much for listening to IE Sportsnet here on Fox Sports Radio, 1350 AM. You know, when it comes to Inland Empire Sports, the conversation starts and stops here. Follow us on social media. Facebook, Instagram, Twitter is all at IE Sportsnet. Eternal will be out in Riverside at the Riverside Black History Parade. He's giving out Globetrotter tickets. So if you guys want to see the Harlem Globetrotter, it's the 90th year they're doing this. Make sure you hit up Eternal at the Black History Parade. He's giving out a pair of tickets right there live on the spot. We will be back next Saturday. Eternal will be in the house. Lord willing, we'll both be here on Fox Sports Radio, 1350 AM. This is IE Sportsnet, IESportsnet.com. I am the one and only Coach B. You know, when it comes to Inland Empire Sports, the conversation starts and stops here on Fox Sports, 1350 AM.
You're listening to IESportsnet.com, the Inland Empire Sports Authority.